Today's transmission is about fear and what that is holding you back from. So I was guided to this spot here on the coast of Oregon. I'm sitting in a tree overlooking the coast, and it's just absolutely breathtaking. And I have no fear. I have no fear of being in this tree. I have no fear of falling out of this tree. What is fear? Fear is false evidence appearing real. Greater truth about fear is that it is an illusion. However, that illusion feels very real, doesn't it? When you're in the grips of fear, there's almost nothing that can get you out of it, right? Especially when it's so real that it immobilizes you, it paralyzes you. How do you get out of that fear? First thing you have to do is recognize, why are you so fearful? What is causing you such panic in that moment that you are losing all your faculties, right? Some people may have to go use the bathroom when they're in fear, or do it on themselves. What gets you to that point where you're so fearful of something, whether it's falling out of a tree onto the rocks right below you, whether it's a plane crashing, right? The fear of flying, whether it's the fear of heights. Have you really gone deep with yourself to find out what is that fear and where it's coming from? Because the greater truth about that is that that fear isn't yours. That fear was taught and programmed to you by something. Now, whether it was your childhood trauma, something that happened to somebody else that you witnessed, and in that moment that gripped you in so much fear that you will never do that thing again. Greater truth about those experiences, and they are very real to you, and they happened. You've experienced them. You were meant to experience them, even if they've created a lot of trauma in your now space. The reason why it's still creating trauma in your now space is because you won't let it go. That is the greater truth about fear. Fear grips you and has such a tight hold on you that you feel helpless. So helpless that you will not let it go, so you keep that fear with you your entire life. It is very real. The emotion is very real. And that emotion will control you for the rest of your life if you allow it. How do you get past fear? Other than the obvious looking fear in the face, right? That's not enough. That's a temporary fix that can cause a new fear. It's about taking the baby steps you need to identify why that fear was there to begin with. And then deciding, I am courageous enough to go down that road, even if it brings me more fear, even if it brings me more sadness, even if it brings me more anger. But I'm choosing to experience those things, because at the end of facing those, I will release the fear, and it will never have that grip on me again. You can do this. You have to embody courage. You have to embody the confidence that you can save yourself. Yes, there are other people that can help you along your path. Call them psychologists, psychiatrists, doctors, friends, neighbors, local community groups, gurus, mentors, YouTube channels, whatever that is to you. And I encourage you, the Great Spirit, our Creator, encourages you to go down those paths that resonate with you. Ensure that they resonate with you first. And seek those guidances, those helps. But also, know when you have to release those. And know that you don't have to go to another therapist session just because there comes a point where you have to recognize that you have conquered the fear and move past it for good. And if that means stop watching that YouTube channel, stop going to that drum session, stop attending a yoga session, stop reading certain self-help books, you have to recognize when that time is to cut that umbilical cord. Fear keeps you tied and gives you a false sense of security to an umbilical cord. That umbilical cord can be your parents, it can be your friends, it can be your husband, it can be your children, it could be your neighbors, it could be a doctor, it could be a lawyer, it could be any other force outside of you that's helping you. But just like the gestation period of when you are in your mother's womb, at some point you have to leave and cut the umbilical cord. Cut the umbilical cord to fear. It's time. It's time. We have been gripped in fear all of our lives. Our parents were gripped in fear, their parents were gripped in fear, their parents before them, parents before them. Generations of beautiful souls have been gripped in fear and have this attachment to fear. If you're familiar with Ho'oponopono, that is one method that you can use to forgive yourself and let fear go. Others are just taking baby steps. If you're afraid of drowning, not jumping into an ocean, but getting yourself to the point where you can stand in the water at the edge of the ocean. You don't have to go in, but it's just about taking that one little step closer to maybe going in there, right? Or go to a local swimming pool area where they have a kiddie pool. Get into the kiddie pool first, right? Just like when you're skiing, you know, we're not expert skiers right off the bat. You go to the bunny trails, right? Practice. That's what letting go of fear is. You have to practice getting to the point where you're going to be face to face with the fear. But you've taken multiple steps to get you there, to gain your confidence, so that when you're finally there to take that long last push, right? And not fearing if you're going to fall over or fly off, which I am not. When you reach that point, then you say, thank you, fear, for this experiences. Even if it took me 50 years, thank you for that experiences and the lessons that I've learned along the way. I'm grateful for you, fear, because now I will go and conquer another fear. But it's not conquering the fear, it's integrating it and not allowing it to control you, just like the ego can control you. Fear is ego. And there are forces in your world that know that they can control you through fear. So, cutting out television, things of that nature, right? Because all that's being projected to you is fear. False evidence appearing real when it's not. This world is an illusion. It is the Matrix. It was created as such by an architect, creator, so that through you, the creator can create new experiences. So you are the creator. So, is God fearful of anything? No. God is not fearful of anything. Creator is not fearful of anything. You are the co-creator. It's time for you to take your power back and not be afraid of anything. And you can be. Stop doing the things that cause the fear. Stop being around the people that cause you anger, worry, doubt, lack, insecurities, victimhood. You can survive. Be a survivor, not a victim. Because once you start letting all those things go and release the grip of fear, even if you have to start all over from ground zero with not a penny in your pocket, you can do it by creating your own universe. And the more you are in love, remember, love has no opposite. The opposite of love is nothing. There is no opposite to love. Fear is not the opposite of love. Fear is the opposite of suppression and coercion and control and ego. Love has no opposite. Love stands on its own. So once you start embodying love, first love for yourself. And if you don't have love for yourself, find help to help you figure out what it is that you do not love about yourself, so that you can start releasing those, because that's fear as well. It's time, beautiful soul. It's time for you to own your mastery, your gifts. In order to do that, you need to release fear. You need to love more. Love yourself more. And then the people that don't love you and the events that don't love you can't come up to meet you anymore. And you will no longer be in those grips. Because love is a very high vibration. It's the most important one. But authenticity is even higher. Once you can authentically love yourself, there's nothing that can come up to bring you back down. Because the reality is that if you're in so much love with yourself and your environment and your situation, recognizing them as experiences that you are meant to experience, allow them to be there, experience them fully. Don't suppress them. Experience them fully. Give gratitude. Thank you, fear, for being here. I see what you were and what you meant to me and what you taught me. I allow you to flow through this body. If you have to send them to be transmuted, send them to the Creator. He's waiting. The Divine Mother's waiting. Master Jesus is waiting. Mother Earth is waiting. Intend. I've experienced this fear. I choose to detach with unconditional love, and I send it to the Mother, Divine Mother, to be transmuted, healed, and neutralized. I choose not to experience that any longer in any of my now spaces. Thank you. I love you. And thank you, Divine Mother, Divine Father, Divine Mother Earth, for helping me transmute this. I send that experience to you. It has been experienced. And so it is. You are at the point where it can happen this quickly. Gone are the times where you have to sit with a guru in a cave for 5 years before the magic happens. Everything's shifted. The magnetic energy of this world has shifted, and so have you. Realize that, embrace that, embody it, know it fully. Love yourself. Find a way to get to the point where you love you. As you love you, you love more than ever, and you will only attract love to you. No more fear. Reality, the greater truth is that once you elevate your frequency of love for yourself and authenticity, anything that wants to come into your space, to your energetic field, your magnetic field, has to raise its frequency to match you. No longer should you lower your frequency to match it. The more you do that, the more only things that are in alignment with you and are like-minded, like energies, will be attracted to you. And you will experience so many miracles. Miracles are normal. Embrace the miracle that you are. embrace the God that you are, the co-creator that you are. Our Creator has no fear. Neither should you. Expose the fear. Anytime it's there, say, hey, I see you, fear. Who are you? Why are you? What lesson are you bringing me? Wait for an answer. The more that you bring the fear into the light, instead of suppressing it, it has nowhere to hide. It has no choice but to be experienced and transmuted. You are a beautiful, 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 benevolent, divine soul. You are God. Embrace that. Embrace the fear. Take the necessary steps to get out of fear's grip. Fear can no longer stop you. You are beautiful. You are powerful. You are love. You are God. Many blessings on your spiritual awakening journey. This ends this transmission.